Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, in the Big Ten on Saturday, there's a game between two struggling Big Ten teams in the Wisconsin Badgers going on the road at the Northwestern Wildcats. Who do I think is going to win this game of bad offenses? Let's break it down. Wisconsin is 2-3 to start the season, and Paul Chryst is gone. He was their head coach for many years, and he had a great record. But Wisconsin decided, since they started 2-3 this season, that they had to fire him, and he is no longer the head coach. And their defensive coordinator, Jim Leonhard, is now their interim head coach. So we have nothing to go off of with Jim Leonhard. We don't know. He has not won a game or lost a game, so that creates a lot of intrigue here. When Paul Chryst was coach, they beat Illinois State 38-0, and then they lost to Washington State 17-14. And that was a game that Wisconsin should have won. It's in Camp Randall, and Washington State is an improved football team. That is a game Wisconsin should have won. Then they beat New Mexico State 66-7. And then they lost at Ohio State 52-21. And again, this is a game that Wisconsin is not supposed to probably win in the horseshoe. But this is a game that a lot of people felt Wisconsin probably should be more competitive in, because of the fact that Wisconsin's supposed to probably be the best Big Ten West team. And they definitely were not against Ohio State, because they got destroyed. And then they lost to Illinois 34-10. And I picked Wisconsin to beat Illinois, and that game was ugly. Illinois ran the ball over them. And Illinois is kind of ironic that they flipped to more of a spread offense under Brett Bielema, who Brett Bielema obviously used to be the Wisconsin coach. But Wisconsin is still playing the ground and pound kind of offense, and that is what a lot of people maybe think. That's why Paul Chryst has gone. Maybe Wisconsin's going to want to move to a more spread offense. We shall see. Quarterback Graham Mertz, he had 206 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions against Illinois. And Graham Mertz is a quarterback that, coming into his college career, had a high recruiting ranking, but he has not lived up to it so far. And a lot of people think maybe it's the offensive style that they play, maybe he hasn't gotten comfortable, but he has just not lived up to the expectations. But if he can finally break through and play like the guy that everybody thinks that he is, or was coming out of high school, he could definitely be a good quarterback. Running back Ches Malusi had 16 yards. And this is alarming for Wisconsin, because Wisconsin is all about the ground and pound and giving it to their tight ends and all that kind of stuff. But Wisconsin against Illinois could not run the football, only 16 yards for their top tailback. Wide receiver Jameer Dyke had 76 yards, and tight end Jack Eschenbach at 32 yards. So obviously Wisconsin's passing game was better than the running game against Illinois, but Wisconsin has to run the football to win the way their offense is currently built. They have to run the ball better. And on defense, cornerback Jay Shaw had 5 tackles, linebacker Jordan Turner had 4 tackles, and defensive tackle Keanu Benton had 2 tackles against Illinois. So Wisconsin's defense has a lot of talent, but again, they're giving up more points than they should, and their offense is not getting anything done. On the Northwestern side, Pat Fitzgerald is one of the longest tenured head coaches in college football, and he's done great things at Northwestern, considering it is very tough to win at Northwestern because of the academics, just like at Stanford and Duke and other places, even Vanderbilt. And he's done a fantastic job, and they've had the rotating years where they were good in 2018 and 2020, and then they were bad in 2019 and 2021. And to start this season, they were 1-4, and a lot of people thought after the Nebraska win, when they won 31-28 in Dublin, Ireland, that this would be a year, since it was an even-numbered year, that they would do well. But they have not won a game since. They lost to Duke 31-23. They lost to Southern Illinois 31-24. They lost to Miami, Ohio 17-14, and they lost at Penn State 17-7. Out of those 4 games, Northwestern should have won 3 of them. Even though Duke's better this year, they probably should have beat Duke on their own field, and they obviously should have beaten Southern Illinois and Miami, Ohio. But they could not beat Penn State, and that's fine. But those other games they should have won. So Northwestern's not playing good this season, and they need to do better, because Pat Fitzgerald is a great coach, and he's had a lot of great seasons at Northwestern. He's obviously not on the hot seat, I don't think, at all, but it's not a good result to start the season 1-4, and you're losing games to teams that you should win. Quarterback Ron Helensky, the South Carolina transfer, had 210 yards, a touchdown, interception against Penn State. He's a good quarterback, and he's better than what they've had since Peyton Ramsey, but he's not, and Clayton Thorson, but he's not done as well as those guys. And obviously, Ron Helensky had a lot of talent when he was at South Carolina. He played really well in a few games, so he needs to do better for Northwestern if they're going to win more games. Running back Evan Hull had 45 yards. and wide receiver Donnie Navarro had 55 yards, and wide receiver Jacob Gill had 1 reception for 47 yards and a touchdown. So the offense is decent, but it's not getting a lot of points. It's kind of like you're going down the field, but you're not scoring. That's kind of what Northwestern is going through right now. And on the defensive side of the ball, defensive back Cameron Mitchell at 9 tackles, linebacker Xander Mueller at 8 tackles, and defensive lineman Tayshawn Holmes at 2 tackles. So obviously Northwestern has not played the schedule that Wisconsin has played so far, but Northwestern has not given up as many points as Wisconsin has so far. So who do I think is going to win this game? Both teams' offenses are not good, and their defenses, usually Wisconsin has the better defense. But I would say right now Northwestern's defense has played better, even though Wisconsin's had the tougher schedule. It can kind of go either way. But the offenses for both teams are not good. So whoever has one more offensive play than the other team that's really good, like a deep throw or a deep run or whatever, is going to win this game. So I'm going to say Wisconsin's going to get the win over Northwestern 21-17. Even though this is at Northwestern, I think Jim Leonhard is going to find a way because he is a good defensive coordinator. And kind of like with Mickey Joseph, he's going to rally the team at Nebraska, how Mickey Joseph has. I think Jim Leonhard is going to get it done. I think Wisconsin is going to come to life a little bit on offense because Northwestern's defense isn't elite. It's good, but Wisconsin's played better defensive teams so far, which has hurt their offense because Illinois is even playing way better on defense, and that stopped Wisconsin. And Northwestern defense is decent, but their offense can't really do that much, and Wisconsin's can't either. But I think Wisconsin's going to find that playing Northwestern is a little bit easier than the other opponents that they played. And I'm going to pick Wisconsin again to win 21-17 over Northwestern. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below whether you think Wisconsin or Northwestern is going to win this game and why. And I will see you next time.